Trump critics worry he'll target them for retributions. Leave this up. This is hilarious. Does this not make you guys laugh? Donald Trump is the only person who has been targeted for retribution. And just about every single liberal lunatic in the country who's an AG or a prosecutor has either threatened to or filed fake charges against Donald Trump. And Trump critics worry they'll be next. A private attorney, Mark Zaid, who's a crazy person, has said he consulted with clients about how they can best protect themselves from this Trump administration. Zaid has advised some to leave the country before Trump is sworn in and live abroad until they have a clear sense of whether he is bent on retaliation. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, I'm looking at you, folks. Do you not support this plan? What has two thumbs and supports this? This guy, Mark Zaid, you are my new hero. Please tell, what are you laughing at? This is a great plan. Are you on, Justin's not on board? Guy, are you on board? Michael? We're all, there's four people here. If Edith left, her show is done. Kicked ass today. There's four. We all agree. 4-0. We are with you, Mark Zaid. Liberals who feel like Trump is going to do what you did to Trump? Yes, please go. Remember Motley Crue? Girl, don't go away mad. Just go away. Just do us a favor. Yeah, don't come back. Live abroad. You say you love the EU and all this other, you love the democratic socialist lifestyle. Go ahead. Matter of fact, I'm going to suggest Tom Homan, the new border czar. Tom, if you're listening, we love you. Tom, maybe we can finance their travel. Maybe first class. Can we get a give, send, go going? Yes, that's the thing. Justin's correct. These will not be round trippers. These will be one way. And by the way, leave your passport with us after you leave. After you check in, just leave your passport. We will follow you over to the country's the migration checkpoint at the border checkpoint. Once you check in, we take your passport. Are you cool with that? We will finance your I may hire a private jet and charter one to get you guys out of there. So there you go. I saw this morning in a late edition to the show, and I thought, yes, this thing is turning out even better than I thought. Folks, the Trump effect is real, bro. It is real. It is already happening. He's not even sworn in yet till January. We don't even have the new Congress, new Senate sworn in. We have nothing. But the Trump effect is real. Byron Donalds, who's a congressman from Florida, a great guy. He says, here, this is just 72 hours after winning the election. Throw that up on the screen. First female chief of staff appointed. New York City stopped giving debit cards to illegals. Companies bringing production home already. Stock market peaking out. Bitcoin peaking out. Migrant caravans are breaking up. Qatar kicks out Hamas. Hamas wants an immediate end to the war. The Taliban shit in their pants and say they want a new chapter. China wants now peaceful coexistence. All of a sudden, Russia's ready to speak with the U.S. The EU wants to buy gas from us and not Russia. And Ukrainian leaders are in talks with Trump and Elon. The guy isn't even the president. He's only been the president-elect for not even a week. Not even close to a week. Didn't even happen. A race wasn't even called till Wednesday. We're not even there yet. And all of a sudden, the world is changing. Folks, do you still feel good? Are you still riding the high from last week like I am? Because I don't know about you, but, work is, I love my job. Don't get me wrong. It's not a day I don't like coming to work, but there are days you like it more. Like Wednesday, when I knew we were winning this thing. I woke up on a Monday, and usually Mondays are hard for me. Shaking off the cobwebs. I had a lot of tequila this weekend with Paula, man. We were like having a good time on Saturday. Way too good of a time, you know what I mean? And man, I'll tell you, I was like Monday, just chomping at the, I even got in here early. Did I not, Michael? I usually get here at 10. It was like 9:13 when I got here because I'm just like ready to go. Folks, the Trump effect is real. But my humble opinion, here is the most important announcement we've seen yet. You're going to see a lot of things in the coming days. Elise Stefanik, you got Tom Homan, you got Stephen Miller, Susie Wiles, who's great, is going to be the chief of staff. I think it's a great selection. Listen, I have my opinions about people. I know some of these people a little bit differently. I haven't interacted with them. They've always been kind to me and kind to the MAGA agenda I put forward for President Trump. But this is the most important announcement yet. President Trump jumped in front of the camera immediately. He's been putting out these short videos. This is critical. He is about to take back the First Amendment. This is about a 4-minute video. I'm only going to play about a minute of it. You'll get the point. But the First Amendment, ladies and gentlemen, if we can't talk, we can't run for office. If our candidates and our MAGA crowd and our influencers, whatever you want to call them, cannot speak out on platforms like everyone else, we don't have anything. Here's President Trump taking it to the deep state censorship regime. This is the best thing I've heard all week. Check this out.
Today, I'm announcing my plan to shatter the left-wing censorship regime and to reclaim the right to free speech for all Americans. And reclaim is a very important word in this case because they've taken it away. In recent weeks, bombshell reports have confirmed that a sinister group of deep state bureaucrats, Silicon Valley tyrants, left-wing activists, and depraved corporate news media have been conspiring to manipulate and silence the American people. They have collaborated to suppress vital information on everything from elections to public health. The censorship cartel must be dismantled and destroyed, and it must happen immediately. And here's my plan. First, within hours of my inauguration, I will sign an executive order banning any federal department or agency from colluding with any organization, business, or person to censor, limit, categorize, or impede the lawful speech of American citizens.
Folks, it gets me a little emotional, man. There's a lot of things. Can I just talk to you into the camera here candidly for a second? Our show is obviously live. It's not scripted. There's, teleprompter content other than the clips and stuff. No one tells me what to say. I've been through a lot with the free speech thing. You have too. I'm not meaning to minimize anyone else's role. I hope you understand that. But I've really been through a lot. Both ideologically, it's obviously my passion, the First Amendment, but I put a lot of skin in the game with a lot of investments. Early on, I was involved with Parler. That story, believe me, I promise you, whatever you think you know, you have no idea. I'm telling you. I don't care what anyone's told you about that. That is a very, very complicated case that 99% of people who comment about have no idea. The bottom line is it hurt. It hurt bad. I poured my heart and soul into giving you an alternative platform out there to speak. The big tech companies and the deep state just wiped it off the face of the earth in a very long, complicated story. That parlayed into Rumble because I wasn't going to give up. It parlayed into paralleleconomy.com. If you have Stripe and you don't like it, paralleleconomy.com is a processor. Rumble, I got involved with them. I don't want to belabor the point, but I'm telling you, my skin has been in the game a long time. My time, my money, my heart, my passion, my soul, my brain, everything. And to see this thing finally turning around. We're not there yet. The censorship regime, I don't make any mistake, it's still very powerful. Elon can tell you, Chris from Rumble can tell you, Devin Nunes at True Social can tell you, it's still powerful. But every day it's getting weaker and weaker, and they're losing the institutional levers of power they need as an enforcement mechanism. And once Donald Trump gets into office and institutes this executive order, folks, I'm telling you, we have about 2 or 3 years to crush this thing, and we are going to be so back. Companies are going to be begging to speak to this MAGA audience that is now the majority of the country, begging. And you'll be back too. These platforms are going to realize there's no future in censorship. Folks, the Trump effect is real, not just for censorship. The wins, the W's, go call them the dubs. The W's just keep on coming. Here's what happened this weekend. Here's about 15 seconds of one of the EU commissioners talking about how, oh my gosh, look, now I think we should buy a lot of liquid natural gas from the United States. Gee, what changed since last week? I don't know. Maybe the election of Donald Trump as president-elect. Watch this.
We still get a lot of LNG via Russia, from Russia. And why not replace it by American LNG, which is cheaper for us and brings down our energy prices?
How do you think that happened? How do you think that happened? None of this is by mistake. Folks, we could be looking at the greatest 2-year run we've had in modern American history. Why do you not say 4? Because we got a midterm then. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's deal with chunks of time that are digestible, manageable, and we could put together a 2-year plan while we have what is 99% sure to be a House majority, 100% sure to be a Senate majority, and 100% sure we're going to have a White House staffed with loyalists if we're starting with Homan and Steve Miller. Okay? I'm very, very comfortable that we are going to have a rock-solid White House, unlike last time where we had a lot of traitors on the inside. Folks, there's more coming too. The good news, this is probably the finest Monday show I've ever done. I'm bringing you so much good news. Enjoy every minute. Smile, man, like the Joker without the serial homicide. Smile, kids. Everything's coming together. Everything. Look at this one. Donald Trump. The Bongino army strikes again. No one gives us credit, but that's okay. I kind of love the fact, what about you in the chat? You guys dig the fact that the mainstream media constantly ignores us and we just creep up ninja style and we change everything? Don't you love that? That we out there, the Bongino army, boom, we move. When I move, you move. You ever hear, when we move. You did it again, Bongino army. But let me tell you something. I want to give the Trump team credit because they listen. A lot of asshole politicians don't listen. The Trump team, they have their ear to the base like no one I've ever seen before. True Social post by Real Donald Trump. I will not be inviting former Ambassador Nikki Haley or Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Will not be inviting. Does that say not? Oh, it does. I will not be inviting to join the Trump administration currently in formation. I enjoyed working with them. Like to thank them for their service. Make America great again. Listen, I'm going to just put this out there, and I hope you guys understand. This is not personal for me, okay? I'm not the guy who gets invited to cocktail parties. Ask me, Justin, you over there? Ask me how much time I spent at Mar-a-Lago this weekend. I spent zero. You will not see me in Politico Playbook. They have that spotted section. Spotted. You will not see that. I'm not saying I won't go to them. I'm just saying I did not spend time glad-handing this weekend, cutting deals. Can I get this? I did not do that. Again, what is two thumbs in the cut deals? This guy. I'm not looking for shit. I'm looking for one thing. You know what I'm looking for? The same thing you're looking for. Protect Donald Trump at all costs. Protect him at all costs. We weren't powerful enough 8 years ago. My show was probably a quarter of the size. We had some JU Ice, but not enough. We're in charge now. We're the #1 live stream in the world. Folks, Guy, I showed you those numbers, correct? Us compared to that entire platform. You remember what I'm talking about? Guy's like, whatever. I'm just going to tell you something. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I don't want to give up the numbers. I'm telling you this, though, and the data backs it up. You have no idea how big you are out there. This show on Rumble is bigger than entire platforms out there, you know. One of these days, maybe I'll get to show you that. You'll be stunned. We're not going to waste any time cutting deals and mixing and mingling. We are going to protect Donald Trump. And people like Mike Pompeo, no good. And the hits just keep on coming. Donald Trump on True Social. He's now planning on, he goes after Gavin Newsom, which is a great idea because Donald Trump was closing the gap significantly in places like California, being ruined by liberal Democrats. The beautiful, unbelievably prosperous state of California. It is. Silicon Valley, you've got what is California, the third largest economy in the world? It is. Now, it's prosperous despite liberals destroying it. I wish these liberals would self-deport too. And there he is, if you go to the end of this, talking about how we're going to move towards national voter ID. Let me tell you something. If they can hear it, I will be demanding voter ID and proof of citizenship as a necessary part and component of the voting process. You implement voter ID, don't laugh. We got a chance in the next couple decades to actually flip New York, possibly California. Oh, look at this shocking map, courtesy of Newsmax. You all are going to be stunned. Meaning you're not going to be stunned. States Harris won versus the ID requirement. So if you're listening on Apple and Spotify, it's a simple map of the United States. And you'll notice that pretty much every single state Kamala Harris won, almost, that there is no photo ID required. Is that weird? Is that a coincidence? That's surely, he said, surely it's a coincidence. And if you've ever seen the movie Airplane, don't call me Shirley. Surely that's just one big coinky-dink. Folks, if Donald Trump can get this stuff pushed through, I need a favor from you, though. I need a favor from you. We have what is going to be a probably historically slim House majority on the House side. The Senate, we've got a buffer. Murkowski and Collins are going to sabotage everything. It doesn't matter. We'll still, even with them, we'll still have actually 2 because we'll have 51. And even if we lose another, J.D. Vance will be the tiebreaker. I'm not too worried about the Senate side. You are going to have rhinos in the House that I promise you are going to try to sabotage us. The Bongino army in the next 2 years. We're not done. It's Monday. It's get back to work. Everybody's smiling today. Things are going great. We're happy warriors. Love it. But make no mistake, we got to get back to work now because these House members are going to need a push, especially on things like voter ID. Because what do you think? Folks in the chat, let's see the first one who gets it. Folks in the chat, what do you think is going to happen the first time a national voter ID for federal elections bill gets pushed out there? What are the Democrats going to say? Who gets it first in the chat? Let's see. Danny Botts is watching. Who's first? Come on, someone. Yes! Who is it? Supernova Kane. You're a racist in all caps. Yes, sir. Supernova Kane. You get the... Oh, they're going to... Now everybody's chiming in now. We all think alike, man. We're simpatico. You know it's going to happen. Jim Crow, 7.2. It's all Jim Crow. You're all racist. They don't want black people to vote. And what are we going to do? We're going to go back and go, really? So you're suggesting black men and women don't know how to get a driver's license? That sounds kind of racist-y to me. A little bit racist-y. Look at it. Look at the chat. You guys are unbelievable. You guys, man, you're so ahead of it. I love that I ask a question and everybody's like, bam, right away. We blow that chat right up. Yes, it's going to happen. So weak-kneed rhinos are going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be accused of being a fake racist. Instead of realizing nobody actually believes this. Donald Trump cleaned up with the black vote and the Hispanic vote. We need it. Voter ID, get it done. All right, quick break. Here's what I got coming up. Donald Trump released another video this week, and I'll play about a minute of it. This is almost as important as the first one. He is going to war with the deep state right now, and believe me, he ain't hiding it. Hey, you having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Listen, I've been there. It's not just about feeling tired the next day. It's about the toll poor sleep takes on your life. But guess what? There's hope on the horizon. Beam's Dream Powder. They sent me some to try a long time ago. I've been using it ever since. Seeing we're sleeping well, we're sharper, more focused, and ready to tackle whatever life throws away. I took some last night because I was on kind of the weekend schedule. Took some Beam. It has in it a powerful all-natural blend. Doesn't cause the next day grogginess either. It's reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin. I really love the apigenin. And melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. There's never been a better time to finally try Dream. Shop their cyber sale. Get up to 50% off when you visit shopbeam.com/Bongino. You've heard me talk about this product all year. It's your chance to give it a shot at the lowest price of the year. So head on over to shopbeam.com/Bongino for up to 50% off. That's shopbeam.com/Bongino for up to 50% off. Check it out. Get yourself a good night's sleep. Folks, the deep state has been put on alert. This is one of the best Monday shows we have ever done. I'm not talking about the content. I'm talking about the feeling of joy. What can we, you guys agree with me out there listening? You guys agree with me that the first 2016 election, which was unexpected, nobody expected him to win outside of the diehards like us. It was unexpected. There was staffing chaos. It wasn't his fault. He just wasn't a politician. This doesn't feel this way at all this time. It feels clean. It feels surgical. It feels like they know exactly what they're doing. It feels message-oriented, and it feels like we finally have an opportunity to get this thing done, whereas the deep state, there's this state of confusion, and while the confusion is there is when we got to move. Take advantage of the fog of war. And that's what's happening right now. Here's Donald Trump putting the deep state folks on notice that you're done. You're fired. You're out, especially the ones in the intel community that screwed this place up. Check this out.
My plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all. And corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe even possible.
What's the time now for, folks? Haven't said it in a few days. More. Kylo Ren style. More, kids. More. Just keep piling it on. Just keep. When you pile it on, you think that pile's high enough, pile on more. And then you're like, that pile's high enough. No, it isn't. Pile on more. Well, I think we've reached the peak. No, you haven't. More. While the fog of war and the chaos on the left and the circular firing squad and the self-deportations and the recriminations and the Biden did it, Kamala did it, Kamala sucks, Biden sucks. Now is the time to move. What did I tell you about a year ago? Come on, folks in the chat, P1s, you know what I'm talking about. What did I say to you? Here's how you handle the first 100 days. Do you remember this conversation? If you do, chime in. I said, you hit him with a Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller, oh my gosh, deportation. And then you hit him with a Tom Homan. Tom Homan, oh my gosh. And then you hit him with the Susie Wiles. And then you hit him with, hopefully, Rick Scott. And then you hit him. They won't know what to do. They're still freaking out over the Trump going to war with censorship. And then you hit him with the deep state memo. They don't know. Remember we having this conversation? This is how you, do you notice the media doesn't know what to do right now? They're sitting there like, holy shit, let's all leave the country. Yes, more of you leave. By the way, the shirt is done. If you want it, up to you. We do a lot of charitable donations because of these shirts. More. 4 more years. Pick one up if you want. Store.bongino.com. Totally up to you. Paula does it for you guys. But check it out. This is the sample they just rushed over. More, kids. More. Every day more. Folks, when you think you've had enough, what comes next? That's right, more. But then you've really had enough. What comes next? The answer is more. Mas. Yes, in foreign languages, the answer is mas. Maybe we'll put a Spanish language edition out, thanking the Hispanic community for their historic support of Donald Trump. That's actually not a bad idea. Paula would love that. More. Mas. Not Roberto Duran, not no mas. Mas. More. Mucho mas. Bring it, kids. Bring it. Never enough. We're piling on even more. And just when you think it's enough, like we've done enough let's take a break and go and pop some Chablis or whatever. Let's not. I don't even know what that is. I saw it in a show last night. Is it a wine or something like that? Whatever. Not my bag of donuts. I drink tequila. Just when you think you've hit more, this happens. Trump appoints Tom Homan to replace current border czar Kamala Harris, who is claiming she's not the border czar, but now is going to have to relinquish the border czar. Is there a little crown for that? Is there like a little trophy they get? Like, border, here you go. Tom. Is going to be replaced by Tom Homan. Some of you will remember this amazing hit Tom Homan did on TV with 61 minutes. Remember, they were called 60 Minutes. They added a minute for Kamala Harris. They're now 61 minutes. It was a great hit. Our new border czar replacing Kamala Harris, talking about deportations. One of the greatest sound bites you're going to see this year on the border. Check this out.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
See, here's the thing. When you break the law, I unfortunately, I've known people in my life who've been arrested. I was a New York City cop myself and an agent. I've arrested people. You don't take the kids to jail. See, that's not how that works. So if you are a person in the United States, citizen or not, and you get arrested for felonious mopery in the umpteenth degree, don't do felonious mopery, big trouble, and you go to jail, they don't take the kids and the wife too. It's not like that movie, the Chris Hemsworth movie, where he's got to go extract people. The second one where the bad guy takes his wife and kids to prison. That's not the way it works. When you break the law, you go to prison. You are separated. Why we would make a separate category of incarceration for people who aren't even American citizens, who have broken the law and entered illegally outside of a point of entry, I don't understand how any sane person can argue that. And I would make the case to you It's one of the reasons they got their asses kicked by Hispanic voters on the Texas border in droves, the Democrats, that is, because they want special rules for people who aren't even citizens. I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't know if I've ever told you a story. My wife may not like it, but I'm going to tell you anyway. My wife's a legal citizen to this country. We had some serious problems with immigration when we got here. I promise you it was obviously all bullshit. My wife was like a high salary VP for a huge lobby firm. She was an internet and database developer, okay? My wife was not some criminal, crazy person in this country who snuck in like trafficking drugs or something, all right? We had a lot of problems. It was ridiculous what she went through. They accused her of all kinds of crap. We had to write letters and stuff. If I told you the story, you'd be like, no way. This is a long time ago, 20 years ago or something like that. They threatened her, if you don't write this letter, like we could deport you. Do you think there was any concern about a family separation? We had kids. Nobody cared. Meanwhile, she was here legally with all the proper paperwork. So I'm sorry. I don't have any sympathy for people who broke the law, entered illegally, and now want to stay. You can go back. Whoever you came with, you got to go back, and you can try it the right way later on after some penalty period. That's it. There's no special rules for you. Sorry. And if that hurts to hear, you should have done it the right way. And I know you feel the same way. Folks, you can always gauge the success of a tactic you're taking politically by what? The reaction of your enemy. You watch it. Please remember, this is one of my golden rules of this show for political strategy. Measure if your enemy's ignoring a tactic, I'm telling you it's not successful. It's not. Whatever you're doing, they want you to continue doing. I've always used the example of Obama and the birth certificate thing, how I was behind the scenes with that whole thing in the White House, and their conversations were bizarre. They want you to do certain stuff when they ignore it. When they freak out about something, you know what you're doing. You need to double down and hit the gas pedal. I'm going to show you this Fox News clip now. The Biden team is panicked about the first 3-4 days of Donald Trump being the president-elect. They don't know how to respond. All right, last break, and then we'll get back to that. Hey, nothing delivers comfort and joy like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. Skip the holiday hustle and bustle. Save 50% off gourmet gifts site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Get a $30 reward card when you shop early. Score an extra $30 with promo code Bongino. It's a huge discount. We just stocked up with Omaha Steaks in our house. We're ready for the busy election season. There were a lot of late nights in Omaha. Helped us get through it. We're obviously pretty hungry. We got home with 5 generations of experience. They deliver the world's best steak experience, and the gifting experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to deliver the perfect gift with thoughtfully curated gift packages starting at $89.99. From legendary steaks to mouthwatering desserts and more, save 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $30 off with promo code Bongino and a $30 reward card when you shop early. That's 50% off at Omaha, O-M-A-H-A, omahasteaks.com, and an extra $30 off with promo code Bongino. Minimum purchase may apply. Visit omahasteaks.com for details. And our last sponsor today, folks, check this company out. I just got a bunch of samples, and I got to tell you, I'm really impressed. You got to sleep in comfort, right? Cozy Earth. The ultimate Christmas gift is luxurious sleep. You hear me talk about it all the time. With sheets and jammies from Cozy Earth, you and everyone will sleep in luxury in your household. Cozy Earth uses only the best fabrics and textiles to enhance that. Cozy Earth's bamboo sheet set, absolutely love it with their bamboo pajama set. Cozy Earth's goal is to help you create a sanctuary in your house. With Cozy Earth, you could transform your space into an elevated haven where serenity and renewal intertwine effortlessly. Cozy Earth sheets are so breathable, you'll sleep several degrees cooler, which is important for me, and are made with durable weave fabric that won't pill, guaranteed for 10 years. Cozy Earth prides itself on the responsible production of its products. Cozy Earth bedding and bath products have a 10-year warranty. Cozy Earth believes in them. Wrap the ones you love in luxury with Cozy Earth. Visit CozyEarth.com/Bongino. Use my exclusive 40% off code Bongino to give the gift of luxury this holiday season. You're going to love it. Super comfortable. That's CozyEarth.com/Bongino. If you get a post-purchase survey, just say you heard about Cozy Earth from the Dan Bongino Show podcast. Check them out. The sheets are just ridiculously comfortable. Thank you, Cozy Earth. All right, back to the show. Always gauge your success by the reaction of your political opponents. I want you to listen to this Fox News report. Yeah, this is the Ducey one. where they are freaking out. This is Peter Doocy, who I saw on Twitter. I got to tell you, I didn't get this from insiders or anything. I heard maybe in the running for press secretary. I don't know if to be true or not. I saw it on Twitter. I'm just throwing that out there because you may have seen it too. I have no inside sources on that. I'm just being straight with you. But Peter's a pretty good go-getter. But here he is reporting on how they're trying to Trump-proof the White House right now. They're freaking out. Check this out.
It's going to be really interesting to hear how President Biden threads the needle today about what comes next with this peaceful transfer of power, because that's not going to happen until January. And it's not like Joe Biden is just going to stop trying to implement his agenda. You've got Jen O'Malley-Dillon from the campaign that just lost talking about how the work is about to begin to Trump-proof the administration. Joe Biden next week is going to head to South America. He's going to try to put his fingerprints on as many different things as possible before a president with a completely different worldview comes in and tries to undo it.
Now, I don't even want to call it a good news, bad news kind of thing, because it really hasn't, thankfully. Since Tuesday night, it's just been a litany of really good news. I'd really like to see Rick Scott take this thing in the Wednesday Senate Majority Leader vote. I would. So, we may have to balance some good news and some not so great news. I didn't want to call it bad news, but I do want to be candid with you here in the kind of a not so good news thing. We have a lot to clean up, folks. The Biden White House has created a mess. Everything from energy policy to a war on, how they allocate resources in Medicare, to tax policy, to massive distortions in the tax code with the Inflation Production Act. There's a big mess to clean up. And I don't want anyone under any illusions that this is going to be easy. It has started out amazing. We were on a great track. But I'm telling you, we've got a massive mess to clean up. Here's a perfect example. We can't even do emergency management right. Remember this New York Times story when a bunch of you out there on social media were like, hey, man, is the Biden administration making partisan decisions with this hurricane response with FEMA money? In other words, targeting Trump people. And the New York Times was like, this is misinformation. Our batting average, Justin, on conspiracy theories is 1,000. And ladies and gentlemen, when I say our, I mean the Bongino army. I'm not talking about me personally. You guys said, no, Dan, something's wrong with this FEMA response. And the New York Times said you guys were crazy. They said Trump's false claims about the federal response to Hurricane Helene. They note that they falsely accused of spending disaster funds on migrants. That wasn't false. And neglected areas that had voted for Republicans. They said that was false, that was false. Some of you know where I'm going with this. Daily Wire, exclusive. Internal messages obtained by the Daily Wire show a FEMA official ordered relief workers in Florida to help houses with Trump signs. To not help houses with Trump signs. Excuse me, big difference. There's the message right there. Avoid homes advertising Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, Karate Man strikes again. Sidekick, too. Roundhouse. The Karate Man strikes again. The batting average is 1,000. I wish I could swing this thing. I'm a righty, but because my shoulder, look at this, sweet. Watch this. Sweet like Will Clark. Look at this. Oh, yeah. That right down. Cut right down through the ball. Again. Remember when Biden came out and said, that's all bullshit. Partisan response to the North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina hurricane. You guys are all disinformation. I'm going to sick Michael Chertoff and all of these insiders on you to censor you. Remember that? Here's Biden himself saying it was all disinformation, except for the fact that, yeah, it wasn't. Check this out.
These lies are also harmful to those who most need help. Lives are on the line. People are in desperate situations. Have the decency to tell them the truth. So let me say this. To all the people impacted by Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, despite the misinformation and lies, the truth is we're providing the resources needed to rescue, recover, and rebuild.
It's all disinformation, folks, until it isn't. Your batting average is a freaking 1,000. You guys are amazing out there. You're never wrong. Your instincts on these people are always correct every single time. You are never wrong. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions, been getting a lot of people reaching out, DMing us. We leave the message thing open on pretty much all of our social media platforms. I'm going to be candid with you. We don't read them all because we just can't. It's just a large volume. But I try to take a nice sample. Once in a while, I'll send a message back on what but I never contact you and ask you for anything. However, just one quick thing. If anyone's ever contacting you, asking you, go to a different site and talk to me, I promise that's not me. We've had way too many people get scammed, okay? However, I will respond back with a thanks sometimes with some of the messages. A lot of people are asking me this question, a ton. Like, Dan, you think there's going to be a wake-up call on the left? And I've said to you it's a complicated answer. And I hate when people say that because it sounds like they're avoiding it, and I'm not. I'm going to bring the receipts. Yes, the answer is there are some people on the left who are sensing there's a problem. I know that's shocking because we so associate these people with being immune to facts and being dense. But you got to remember, they want to win. Then they got their asses kicked so bad. Folks, do you understand the scope of this victory in this divided country? This isn't the Reagan era. Donald Trump won every single swing state. And by the way, it wasn't even close. He won the popular vote. We won the Senate. We held the House. We won state houses back. Liberal referenda went down across the country. Almost nothing worked. Even the abortion thing in Florida died a death for the left. This thing was a freaking mess, a total disaster for them. Is there a wake-up call? Some people who are more tactic-oriented, Clinton-like, mercenary, they're interested in winning. There's a little bit of a wake-up call there. However, the far left, I promise you, the AOC crowd is not only not experiencing a wake-up call, is actually getting crazier. I want you to watch this just psycho on CNN flip out when this commentator starts talking about boys and girls sports. Yes, boys and girls sports. He just doesn't want to acknowledge it's even happening. He loses his mind. There's no wake-up call with this guy. Check this out.
I think there are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls' softball. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that.
Let's reset for a second because, look, this is a really heated issue, right? And Sharmichael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this. I think out of respect for Jay, let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful.
Okay, so let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't. Just to be clear, you are not being targeted.
I am, but it's okay.
I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic.
He should know that I'm not. But he wants to sit here and bloviate.
Folks, your best hope tactically, and I don't say this lightly because it really is bad for the country, but there's nothing we can do to get through to that lunatic, nothing. They are boys and they are men. They are not women. You can call them trans women. You can call them whatever you want. They were born boys and they are now men, many of them. You claiming they're something other than they are changes absolutely nothing. And you attacking this gentleman as transphobic for bringing up what is biological reality is the reason you politically got your asses handed to you. You want to win, put this guy on TV more. This guy on CNN, this clown, turns off so many Americans. I swear the Republican Party should finance his travel to TV stations and put him on TV every day. I'm not going to let you talk about that. I'm not going to. Shut up. Stop it. Shut your mouth. Notice the other guy's completely calm. Not this lunatic. You want to keep winning elections? Get a give, send, go and send that guy around the country. Put him on local TV stations everywhere. Imagine you're a parent whose kid just got a volleyball spiked in their face by a fully grown man. It broke your kid's nose. You go to speak up and this guy says, I don't want you talking about it. That is not a boy. Really? It's not a boy. That's it's not. What are you talking about? Do you understand how genetics works? Oh my gosh! Please put that guy on TV everywhere. You want to call yourself a girl? You do whatever you want. I believe in the constitutional Republican freedom. I'm serious. Call yourself whatever you want. You want to call yourself by a different name. You want to tell everyone you're a girl. You do you. There's nothing illegal about it. But this guy screaming at people, demanding that I acknowledge this unbiological fake reality, keep it up. Keep it up and you'll lose in the midterms too. America doesn't want this. Did you miss the election, bro? What do you think just happened? But I'm always going to give you both sides. There are some people, and I use these people specifically because I have some experience with some of them personally. The first one's this guy, Felipe Reines, who's a pretty kind of mercenary dude. This guy will do anything to win. He's not a nice guy, but he understands. He's, by the way, absolute Clintonista, like the king of the Clintonistas. This guy kisses the Clintons' ass like you wouldn't believe. There is some introspection occurring. I mean, it's happening publicly. Is it going to change the direction of the party? I don't know. The AOC far left and that guy, they're powerful. They may be shrinking, but they've become a concentrated, powerful interest in the Democrat Party. Here's Felipe Reines on CNN saying, man, hey, I think we need to wake up if we want to win again. This battle is going to go on for a little while. And while this fog of war is happening, this is when we move. This is when we move. Watch this.
I'm not concerned right now what the right thinks about the Democratic Party. I'm concerned about what I think about the Democratic Party. I don't like to echo the congressmen, all three of them. I don't like the fact that a small portion of our party is pretty much dictating where we are. That they are pretty much, we are being branded as the most extreme of us. It is not only politically problematic, as we just saw, because none of this stuff helped the other day. Without a doubt, it's a problem. But we need to take stock of why we are being held hostage to the far left. No one should be and wants to be kowtowing to the extremes of their own parties.
This guy does not speak without the permission of the Clintons, okay? Like little puppets, you know? And I got this guy doesn't open his mouth without the not so subtle imprimatur of the Clinton crew. The Bill Clinton wing of the party. Folks, I'm just telling you straight, okay? Receipts, man. Receipts matter, okay? The Bill Clinton wing of the party that was responsible for the Democrat Leadership Council after getting wiped out, Reagan, Bush, and then they came back with Bill Clinton and won with this fake moderate act, realizes they're not moderate. The Democrat Party will never be moderate again. They're going to try to fake being moderate. And I want you to be very savvy to this going forward. Keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes out. Like, you got magnifying glasses on. Here's another one. Here's Van Jones, realizing they got themselves a serious problem. And one of their biggest problems, in addition to telling people girls or boys, they are not. In addition to telling people they should defund the police. In addition to telling people public safety doesn't matter, that Walgreens can lock up everything. In addition to telling people inflation doesn't matter. It's not working. I'll tell you who else doesn't matter. The media. We're in charge now. Bongino Army, we are in charge now. I've had mainstream media people reaching out left and right, asking me what we're doing. How did we build this thing? Here's the short answer. It's none of your business. I don't give a shit if you know or not. I know what you guys are up to. We snuck up on you. The Bongino Army's full of little ninjas. We're not the samurai out there on the field with the big decorative costumes. We come up and we're like little creepers, man. We get out there and then we just boom, boom, we do our thing. That's what we do. We sneak up on you. We've been really good at it. A lot of people are catching on, including Van Jones, who realizes that the mainstream media is full of shit. They have no power anymore. We're in charge now. You don't believe me? Listen to him.
We were making fun of Donald Trump for having thrown away his ground game and doing some weird stuff online. We thought that they were idiots. It turned out we were the idiots. We woke up in a body bag because while we were knocking on doors, they were making these phones into 24-hour-a-day political weapons for themselves. And so we got outflanked, outplayed, outbeat by people who told us the whole time that they knew what they were doing.
Yes. Folks, these phones you're looking at right here. Here's my phone, okay? You ever see me looking over? That's my phone right now. You notice I have Rumble Premium. I actually a subscriber myself. And no, it's not free for me. I got to pay. But Rumble Premium, because I don't like the mid-roll ads in my show, so I put the Rumble Premium on. There you go. There's a chat right there. These phones have become little messaging weapons for us. because you can watch my show on your tablet, on your computer. You don't need a cable box. You can sling it on you. Got a smart TV? Just go to the apps thing. Download the Rumble apps. You know you can do that? You know my wife watches the show, and we have a Samsung, a smart TV in the house. All you do is download the app. You can watch it. Van Jones is starting to figure out, while the Democrats are focused on old school lit drops, you know what lit drops are? When you drop a little pamphlet at the door, vote for me, I'm Kamala Harris, I suck. That while they were doing that, what were we doing, the Bongino army? What were we doing? Anybody remember? What was the word? We were executing. Well, you guys were out there dropping literature that probably got thrown in the garbage. What was my crew doing? My little army out there of people. We were out there recruiting 10, 20, 30, 50 people to go and actually like vote and stuff. Because we're in charge now. How's it feel? No, we're in charge. My social media pages are bigger than yours. My reach is bigger than yours. The show's bigger than yours. How does that feel? We're in charge now. And it's thanks to you. I can only watch it once. You guys have spread the word. We've got a ridiculous 188,700 people here right now blowing up my chat. You think the Washington Post can do that? The New York Times? You think CNN can do that? MSNBC? If they could do it, they would, but they can't. They can't. We do it. Here's Axios, which is a far left radical like communist reg, like Hammer and Sickle left. They really hate us too. Here's Axios, one of the founders, this guy Vanderhei, whatever. He's on MSNBC. Listen to this segment. This is the best one of all. This guy's actually starting to get it. I told you there was going to be a little bit of a reckoning. We'll see how far it goes. He's on MSNBC telling Willie Geist, hey, man, listen, I'm really sorry, but we just don't really matter anymore. Yeah, you don't. You're correct, but we do. Watch this.
How do Democrats, and frankly, how does legacy media need to change the way it thinks about getting information? I mean, a lot of the voters who went out and voted for Donald Trump, that so many people are wondering what happened here, they're not watching, frankly, this show. They're not reading the New York Times. They're not consuming media that way. And the Trump campaign found those voters where they live. So how do Democrats need to change the way they communicate to voters, if you think that's part of the problem?
For sure. I mean, I think all of us have to come to grips with legacy media is just not as important as it thinks it is.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not important at all. Matter of fact, you got your asses handed to you in this election. If you were important, you wouldn't have gotten your asses handed to you in this election. Ass right in the hand. See the ass? Here's the ass. Woo, hear that? Right in there. Handed on the ass. See? Justin's like, did we really need the visuals? We did. Asses handed. We got 100. Yes, we broke 190. 190,000 again. Can they do that? No, they can't. If they could do that, what would happen? They would have done it. Have they done it? No. Do we do it? Yes, we do it pretty much every day. Folks, the red pilling's happening everywhere too. You know Charlemagne, very popular guy. He has this show called The Breakfast Club. Very popular, out of reach. No disrespect on the business side. Guy knows what he's doing business-wise. However, he's been very wishy-washy on his politics. He seems to go back and forth. Sometimes you think the guy gets red-pilled, sometimes not. Whatevs, you do you, I do me. But here's Charlemagne after the election like, hey, man, listen, what's going on here? Like, did we miss something here? Do we got a little bit of a blind spot? Yes, we've been trying to tell you there's a huge blind spot. You guys have missed the whole Trump thing the entire time, especially with minority audiences. If you'd wake up and open your eyes, you'd see they don't think any other... They have the same exact concerns as every other American. You just completely missed it. Watch this.
I will say this. I'm glad everybody's having a sense of optimism because the reality is we have no choice because we're here now. Donald J. Trump is going to be the 47th president of the United States of America, like it or not. And we all hope for the best for this country. That's all we can do. But don't y'all find it strange that now that he's won, they're not calling him a threat to democracy? They're not calling him a fascist. I mean, damn, on Monday.
They're not calling him anything.
On Monday, they was just calling him that. I would think that, if you really believe that, then somebody's speech would be about how America effed up and how things are about to be really bad.
Leaving that man
He's
alone.
the most powerful man in the world now.
Well, it just makes you wonder how much of it did they really believe or how much of it was just politics.
Now, Morgan, also, I know.
Folks, the red pilling on this question is happening everywhere. How do I explain this better? Hold on. Let me take a little time out. I don't want to screw this up because this is really critical. If you are a leftist and you genuinely believe, try for a second and revert to like Neanderthal thinking, correct? Like a lot of the far left does. And in your head, you really believe this guy is a Nazi and a fascist. In other words, he's going to get into office, imprison, kill people, and do all this horrible, awful stuff. Then I don't understand why you're so muted in your response after getting your ass handed to you on Tuesday. I don't understand. It's almost like you were faking it. And the answer is because you were. Folks, ask any of your friends who live in liberal cities. I've got a lot of friends who are up in New York. I'm from New York. They cannot believe how quiet it is. There's no Occupy Wall Street. There's no pink hats, if you know what I mean. The screamers aren't in the street. Sir isn't in the street. None of this is happening. I'm not telling you the left is nice and calm and put your swords down because they're going to disarm, politically speaking. That's not what I'm telling you at all. The left is nuts. I'm simply telling you that they've done it before. BLM, Antifa, 2016. Why isn't it happening now? Because of what Charlemagne just said. They never believed this bullshit in the first place. It was all made up, folks. The whole thing was bullshit the entire time. And why was it bullshit? Because there was a body of work in a prior 4-year Trump presidency where all of the fascist Nazi stuff you said was going to happen if he got elected didn't actually happen last time. He is not an unknown. You're not like painting a face on a blank slate. There's already a face there. You got to paint over it. And everybody's like, hey, there's already a face. The left would have understood this. They wouldn't have gotten smoked. Folks, there's a big scandal brewing. And I left this story for last because I want this one to really be tattooed on your brain. This is not a left-right scandal. This is a real scandal because I think, let me just bottom line it up front here. Here's what I'm afraid of. Folks, I believe a lot of politicians out there may be subject to blackmail by a foreign government. Why? I want you to listen to this clip of Senator Marco Rubio on a weekend show about a massive, massive China-based attack on our cell phone system, where the rumor out there I'm hearing from people is that they got a lot of stuff, including people's voice calls. And trust me, the people they were talking, they were intercepting, were definitely some hitters. Listen to Rubio and you tell me what you think after listening to this. Is bad news. Check this out.
This massive and pervasive hacking by China of U.S. telecom companies is significant. Your colleague, Mark Warner, said it's the most significant breach he has ever seen in his entire time on the committee. Do you know if China has been able to access the audio of Americans' phone calls?
Well, I'm not going to comment on what they access, but I agree with Mark Warner's statement. It is an egregious, outrageous, and dangerous breach of our telecommunication systems across multiple companies. I'll leave it at that. I think as time goes on, we're going to learn more about it. Some of it will be made public. I think there's more that's still being gathered. It's a very serious situation that we face, and I think one that is quite threatening, maybe not directly to the election per se, but certainly to the national security of our country moving forward. It's a vulnerability that no one imagined or anticipated, but here it is.
The microphone to motivate the wonderful patriots on the other side of that camera to go and to fill in that bubble. We did it. We got it done for you. This is a republic, a representative democracy. It's not a direct democracy. It is not a direct democracy. We elect you to do our bidding. We did it. Now it's up to you to get it done. You have a minimum of 2 years until the midterms. You have 2 years. We will accept no excuses. I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I'm not trying to be demanding. I'm just telling you the facts. We elected you in a representative democracy to represent us. We now have demands too. The border closed. The tax cuts renewed. I want health care cleaned up. And I want the government out of it. I want the regulatory burden of the United States cleaned up, school choice. I want the Second Amendment protected. I want this done. Bongino Army, you want this done or not? Put it in the chat. I want to see a big yes. Throw an American flag emoji in there too. It is our time now. We have 2 years to get this done. No excuses. None. I don't want to hear any, oh, we'll get them next time. There's no next time. There's now. The world is about living in the present. The future hasn't happened yet. The past is already gone. I'm not a big Eckhart Tolle guy, but if you ever read the book, The Power of Now, the now is all that matters. You are living in only the present. Time is washing over you. Do it now. Now. We asked, is it bad enough yet? The answer was yes, and we did that. By the way, he delivered again last night. The #1 live stream in the world again yesterday, 202,000. We keep kicking ass and taking names, Bongino Army, and damn it, I love you for it. I want to start out today on a Friday with some good news. Michael, tell me you didn't love this clip of the mooch. Come on, just be honest. That's why he jumped out of the chair and got me all, I was ready to go like do a double leg takedown on the guy. I thought he was like going to resign and like go loony on me or something like that. Dude jumped up like whoosh, freaking Sho Kosugi ninja style. If you watch the ninja movies in the 80s and 90s. You know Anthony Scaramucci, he lasted about 5 minutes as the press secretary, humiliated himself, and then decided he had a future in the media, becoming an anti-Trump D-bag. You remember that guy? They called him the Mooch. If your nickname is the Mooch, you should seek a new line of work. Here he is. He goes on CNBC with the absolutely incredible Joe Kernan, who I'm really starting to love. Guy, you starting to like this guy? This guy, he's like, yes, yeah. You know, Guy don't respond to it. He's like talking to a mousetrap. You're never going to get an answer out of this guy. That's why when he says something, you better listen. Joe Kernan is becoming a rock star on this show, along with Scott Jennings. Here he is over. Scott Jennings takes the cake. But Joe Kernan, you're rapidly moving into our #1 spot. Here's Joe Kernan at CNBC asking the mooch, hey, man, are you embarrassed a little bit or humbled for trying to stay on TV with your anti-Trump routine? This is where savor every second of this gloriousness. This is delicious. Watch this.
The rhetoric got heated everywhere. You got pretty heated, Anthony, at times.
Look, Joe, how did I get heated? What did I say, Joe?
About Trump?
Yeah, what did I say? I said I repeated what he was saying. And I said this is wrong.
Anthony,
come on, Joe.
You have had an utter disdain for Trump. You'll always be welcome at the table of legacy media and have people nodding as you trash Trump. That's always going to happen. But aren't you the slightest bit embarrassed or at least humbled about how wrong you were about
Joe,
the feeling of most Americans, let me finish, and for enthusiastically supporting a candidate who a majority of people thought had no business being anywhere near the Oval Office? And you're a Republican, and you saw all the different policies that she was talking about are anathema to what you thought your whole life. And yet you went along with it. Do you ever eat any crow, or not even a little crow wing, really like a little capon? Or you just, I mean, Michael Avenatti could still be on TV trashing Trump. You'll always find a place on TV. If he wasn't in prison, he'd still be on CNN running for president with Brian Stelter. Just give me a little bit, Anthony, about how wrong you were.
Dude, do we have the people's elbow? I mean, if there was ever a dropping of the people's elbow, do you see the mooch sitting there like, what do I do? What do I say? Somebody have a diaper? Do you have a wipey to clean me up after this? How is this guy even back on TV? This guy claims to be this big Republican advocate, and I'm fighting for the country by fighting against Donald Trump, and he doesn't have a single thing in response to say his answer was embarrassing. Now, let me tell you, he goes back on about I know Donald Trump's personality. You don't know better than 75 million people there. Mooch, sit down. Shut up. Your time is over. Bye now. Folks, I never let you down. I try not to. When I tell you something's going to happen, it's because I'm getting it either from sources or from having done this now 15 years and been involved in this movement. I can see things and see around corners coming from a mile away. I told you 6 months ago that if Kamala Harris is to become the nominee and Joe Biden drops out, that when she loses, go back and listen to the shows, the Democrat cannibalism theory is going to be like nothing you've ever seen. You ever see that movie Alive where they eat each other in the mountains? The eating of each other, they didn't even wait to start starving. They've got a plate of McDonald's in front of them and they're just eating each other anyway. They are slicing each other to ribbons right now. And I'm sorry, man, but it is glorious to watch. Glorious. Axios, communist newsletter this morning. Deep Democrat depression. One big thing right at the top. The Harris and Biden camps are now blaming each other. Yes. Finger-pointing advisors to Vice President Harris and Biden agree on one thing. President-elect Trump's victory is the other one's fault. Axios' Alex Thompson writes, it goes on with a manifesto about how Biden thinks Kamala sucks and Kamala thinks Biden should have got out sooner. I'm going to say, yes, keep it going. Eat each other. I hear there's a lot of meat around the rump region. Keep it up. We are enjoying every second of this. You spent the last few years calling us Nazis, fascists, racists, misogynists, rednecks, clingers, bitter clingers. You called us every nasty name in the book. Clitters. It's like bitter and clingers in one. Even worse. Now is our time. That's what you get. And I'm going to say, this is a big wow here. I'm kind of stunned. You know, Jank from the Young Turks came on my show. We had a respectful debate. Some of you in the chat liked it. Some of you preferred the Dan Bongino show regular edition. That's okay. Jank asked to come on a conservative podcast. He is a liberal. I thought we had a very good substantive debate. If you in the chat liked it, I appreciate it. But I would do it again. This is one of the first times on Twitter, at least, that Jank and I agree. This guy's a liberal. You saw him on the show. Watch this. Put this up on the screen. The Democrats on TV, this is from Jank, a liberal. The Democrats on TV calling Latino men sexist for voting on Trump are the dumbest people in the world. This is punching yourself in the face for the next election. You think they're going to vote for you after you smear them like this? They didn't cost you the election. Your beloved Democrat establishment did. How about you deliver for them next time instead of insulting them? How about you ask more of your candidates rather than blaming the voters? This is exactly why you lost. Holy Moses. Me and Jank agree on something. If I go on his show, which I said I would, I'm going to tell him, hey, before we disagree on everything else, which we will, tax policy, healthcare, I agree with you there. The Democrats now engaged in this let's crap on each other warfare. They are going to destroy their party for 2 to 4 years. It is our turn now for the next 2 years while we have the majority. While they're busy beating up each other, it is our turn now to get it done. We have a mandate. Run with it. Don't kick the football. Score the damn touchdown. Folks, the recriminations continue now. My cannibalism theory was right. I'm sorry, but we're taking the freaking W. I told you if we pull this thing out and we focus, the left would eventually turn their ire on themselves, and you're seeing it right now. Here's Karine Jean-Pierre yesterday at the White House. Finally asked a question about why they screwed this election up so bad, calling people Nazis, Biden getting out too late, and she has no answer. She's sitting, well, she never has an answer to anything, but of all the bad KJP moments, this is easily top 2 or 3. Watch this.
You talked about the influence the 2022 midterms had on the president's thinking to decide to run for re-election. But around that time in 2023, polls showed that roughly 80% of Americans believed at that time that the president was too old to serve another term. Did he believe those voters were wrong?
What he believed is what 14 million voters decided in the primary, to make him and the vice president, obviously she was on the ticket, the nominee. That's what happened. 14 million for this current past primary. 14 million Americans decided that. So they made their decision on who they wanted. They did. That was decided. Now, as we know, in July, the president made a decision to step aside, and he immediately, again, decided to, without thought, without, second guessing, endorse the vice president. So you had 14 million Americans who made that decision in the primary.
This answer, did you guys catch that? There were 2 things in there, right? Did you catch them? Number 1, she says 14 million Americans made their decision. They did. 14 million Americans, whatever, picked Biden after the Biden team told everyone else, Gavin Newsom and others, you better stay out of this primary. Then she goes, Biden, 14 million Americans who never picked Kamala Harris. Biden, without even thinking about it, picked Kamala Harris. Does she not understand what a cell phone that is? Instead of considering the downsides of Kamala Harris and him pushing everyone else out of the race so he could win and then just bail out, he never even thought about the downsides of his hapless vice president, who he picked for all the wrong reasons, according to his own words. Folks, I told you the recriminations would start. Now, I get it. I always like to give you both sides of even my show. By the way, thank you for making us top 5 on PodTrack. I'm sorry, but I owe you a huge thank you. We had an amazing week. Number 1, pretty much all week, live streaming. Number 1, election night. Love you guys. PodTrack just came out with their October rankings. One of the best trackers in the country. 5th most popular podcast in the country. Thanks to you. I love you guys so much. I should have said at the beginning of the show. But again, why is the show popular? Because the stuff we say is going to happen is going to happen. But you may be saying to yourself fairly enough, all right, enough of that bullshit. Why are we wasting time on the left going after themselves? Because this has an important tactical advantage for the show, folks, and for the movement. There is limited time in a day. Obviously, I mean, nothing I'm saying here is groundbreaking, correct? There's 24 hours. You're probably up and working for 8 to 12 of them, right? If those 8 to 12 hours of Democrat time, activist groups, focus groups, politicians, and bureaucrats are spent shitting on the other people in your movement and blaming them, they're not spent going after Donald Trump. You get it? There's an actual tactical value for keeping this going. Let them beat the shit out of each other electorally, politically, for the next 2 years while we move a positive conservative agenda moving forward. Here it is again. Here's Simone Sanders, who is a very, very vocal, far-left liberal. Here she is calling out the Harris team for, quote, a public stabbing of Joe Biden. Keep this up in the left-wing media. The more time you go after each other, the less time you have to invent fake Russian PP tape hoaxes with us. Watch this.
I do have an indictment of some of the strategy. And again, the people that said Joe Biden was the problem. Where's my camera?
He was not the solution. He was not the solution.
I will just note that it is probably not the best idea that Democrats orchestrated a very public stab fest, a proverbial stabbing in the front of the sitting president of the United States of America, and then didn't use him in his hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Public stabbing. Folks, listen, I am not obviously a huge fan of Simone Sanders. I'm not a huge fan of Jenks politics either. But when people say something that's correct, it's up to me as a tactician on the political side to not just, waft it off and say that's bullshit. She's 100% correct. Joe Biden, unbelievably, is still very popular in Scranton and working class Pennsylvania. Would Joe Biden have won the race for Kamala? Folks, no, it was a blowout in Pennsylvania. Would Kamala Harris have been more competitive and maybe had a different strategy in the last few days if she was a little closer in Pennsylvania? Maybe. Simone Sanders is 100% correct. They kicked Joe Biden right in the gonads after he picked her, the least qualified person to run for vice president. And now the recriminations have begun. Go watch the shows, man. I told you this was going to happen because they all have reputations. I want you to understand something. I got to take a quick break. I'm running a little late, but this is important. You may say, Dan, if they know this is a net negative for the party, why are they all doing this? I've run for office. I'm going to tell you right now, money. Folks, you cannot run as a pollster, a focus group organizer, or someone like Kamala Harris who's going to go out on the speaking circuit. You cannot make money if you've lost all your political capital. If every one of your predictions was wrong and you got smoked in an election, Kamala Harris and all her people are about to become Michael Dukakis. Who's Michael Dukakis? Exactly. He was the Massachusetts governor who got his ass kicked in a presidential election by George H.W. Bush, never to be heard from again. That's what they're afraid of. Money. They don't want to work anymore. They want to go give speeches, and now they can't. That's what this is about. You think this is going to stop? Dan, don't warn them off. They're going to stop. I promise you, they are not going to stop. They are going to eat each other alive trying to save their reputations. Man, I took this last night that I needed. You having trouble sleeping or staying asleep? Listen, I've been there. It's not just about feeling tired the next day. It's the toll poor sleep can take on your life. But there is hope on the horizon. Beam's Dream Powder. They sent me some a long time ago. It is a fantastic product. See, when we're sleeping well, we can be sharper, more focused, and ready to tackle whatever life throws our way. Those other sleep aids, they cause next day grogginess. It's no good. What's the point of getting good sleep then? Beam's Dream Powder contains a powerful all-natural blend of reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up refreshed. Really synergistic products. There's never been a better time to try Dream. Shop their cyber sale. Get up to 50% off when you visit shopbeam.com/Bongino. You've heard me talk about Beam's Dream Powder all year. It's your chance to finally try it for the lowest price of the year. So head on over to shopbeam.com/Bongino for up to 50% off. That's shopbeam.com/Bongino for up to 50% off. Thanks, Beam. Folks, the recriminations aren't going to stop. Now, the problem the left-wing media is having right now is not all of them. There are some of them. I mean, Van Jones, I'll play some of that on Monday. I've got a lot of this to talk about, but people like Van Jones are starting to, and folks, please, I'm not celebrating these people. I know you in the chat. You're my homies. You're my people. You're the army out there. I get it. I don't want you to think like this is a laudatory moment. Get that ad off the screen if you could, guys. The ad. I'm not celebrating these people. They've been against us for a long time. I really appreciate it. I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to say that the overwhelming majority of the liberal movement has still not acknowledged that their problem was policy. So if you can't acknowledge, folks in the chat, am I messing this up? I'm not explaining this right. As the audience ombudsman, Michael, this isn't making sense. This is one of those things. You ever read the book by Scott Peck called The People of the Lie? It's an amazing book. He's since passed, but he wrote The Road Less Traveled. I don't mean to get too long-winded about this, but it's a really powerful book by a very prominent psychiatrist about how some people, their entire lives is about a lie, even to themselves. They do the wrong thing, whatever they do. They hurt someone, and they blame it. Everything's blame. The left is at that point now. They have not yet accepted that their radical position on trans issues, the culture wars, identity politics are the problem. So they're still looking to blame. So they're out there fishing. I want you to watch the CNN segment. You'll see what I mean. There's this stunning data out there, and they can't just accept that it's them. They can't accept it. They're not ready for the moment yet. Watch this. Check this out.
And so one thing that I think stands out also, we can't have this conversation, a little bit to your point, Dana, is that maybe it's not so much Democrats' policies or messaging or the words that they use specifically, but there is an entire right-wing media ecosystem that doesn't exist on the left, and it does not exist in the center or mainstream, and people are getting their information in very different ways now. And Donald Trump and Republicans and Elon Musk and Joe Rogan know exactly how to reach Americans where they are, regardless of age and demographic, and that played a big role in this because of the fact of whether it was disinformation, misinformation, or different propaganda that they were feeding to the American public that made them feel the way they did, and the American public felt as though that they were being heard by Donald Trump.
Folks, put the Fast Company thing up. Just leave it up while I'm talking. I'm not even going to just leave it up on the screen if you would. The next thing, you guys read this headline. I'll explain to it for the audio listeners in a second. Screw it. How the right won podcasting and helped Donald Trump win the election. All right, there you go. Because Guy's going to be like, we got audio listeners. He doesn't lie. I want to leave out the Apple and Spotify listeners, especially on demand. That clip is amazing for all the reasons you think it is. There's this lady on there trying to find blame. Never acknowledges at all that it's the issues. Matter of fact, ducks the whole question. And then what does she do? She goes immediately to this Fast Company headline. Man, it's the right-wing podcasters, the Dan Bonginos, the Joe Rogans, the Theo Vons, the Sean Ryans, the Undertaker, all podcasts Donald Trump was on and was going to be on. Oh, he did most of them. I think he did all of them. They did it. But she never once, nor does anyone on the panel say what? Where am I going with this? Anyone in the chat? No, come on, get out of me. But why is it why are you here? Why in the chat are you here? Why aren't you on CNN? It's an honest question. It's not a trick. Why don't you watch CNN? I'm not setting you up. Yes, because they bullshit you. No one on CNN at any point goes, how is it that, Guy, can you pan out, use camera 2? I want to show you something you guys haven't. We're moving into the new studio soon. Folks, this is the studio. You're like, Dan, that's it? Yeah, folks, this is it. Evita, how big do you think this room is? Small? Probably like a small college dorm room? You're telling me there's 4 people in here. It's me, Evita, Guy, and Michael. Justin's out. He's going to school or something like that. Justin still hasn't graduated yet. We love him. There are 4 people in a converted apartment in a small room going up against a $1 billion enterprise in CNN and MSNBC and others. Why are you here? Why are we kicking their ass every single day? How is it Evita that 27,000 live streamers that she's like a top 50 live streamer in the world? She's been podcasting like 6 months. Why? Because we don't lie to you. There is not a moment of introspection here at all. Folks, put that headline up again, Guy, please. How the right won podcasting? Let me answer it for you. We don't fuck with people. CNN could have won podcasting a long time ago. CNN won't even have us on the air. You're not even allowed to be on there. Unless you're Scott Jennings, you're the only right-winger even allowed on their network. CNN could have had a reasonable Harold Ford Jr. type left-wing podcast that told the truth. And I'm telling you, they could likely be successful too. They just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do it. And now I want you to watch this next. Joe Scarborough has gone mad at MSNBC. Dan, he was already mad. He's gotten madder, even crazier. I mean like the Mad Hatter. You know that how when they used to make hats, they made them with those chemicals? It was like a mercury compound. That's where Mad Hatter comes from. When men wore top hats. Watch Scarborough and their Morning Joe team at MSNBC. Because now the right won podcasting, because we told people the truth and they're tired of being lied to, and they're dumping these channels, what do they want to do? Instead of using a corrective mechanism like, let's start telling the truth. Nope. They want to censor us. I'm not kidding. And they're not even quiet about it. Watch this.
I just got a text from a member of Congress saying, something else we need to look at is how people are turning to social media, podcasts, and other non-traditional sources for their news, and also news stations that aren't news. And I canvassed in all of the battlegrounds. I was shocked by the amount of misinformation voters were truly repeating back to me. Truly shocked. I do believe this is what caused the collapse of the Democrats nationwide. You cannot win when people believe lies.
Folks, I'm really trying to control the language today because I get it. I'm passion matters, but do you understand the dipshits these people are? They can't figure out why they lost. They can't figure out why people are tuning into right-wing podcasts. Yet the answer is right in front of their face. We've been lying and they haven't. And instead of saying, let's stop lying and let's replicate genius and not create mediocrity, their answer is, let's put the genius out of business and keep the mediocrity going. They can't stop. I'm going to take out my last break, and I'm going to show you on the other side of this. Listen to me. This is important. This is why the left is always surprised by us. Always. We didn't see Trump coming in 2016. They didn't see Trump coming in 2020, where I think he was successful. They didn't see him coming in 2024. Why? Because their entire army of moron followers believes bullshit. The collusion hoax, Hunter's laptop was Russian. That's why they're always surprised. I got 2 clips coming up. One about the 2020 election, too. Dan, it's 2024. No, I promise it's important. And you'll see why you guys are never surprised. And they are. Last break, come back. A lot of show left. Hey, the world's on edge right now. We've seen media stoke animosity to the point of violence, the weaponization of our legal system, and political instability. You have no idea what's coming next. I train with this system. I'm so glad to have him back. Folks, please check this out. If you have a firearm, iTarget Pro is the training system I use. How does it work? There's a laser round and an app where you can practice safely with your actual firearm in the privacy and convenience of your own home. iTarget Pro comes in most calibers, from 9mm to .223. You can train with almost any firearm. Competitive shooters use it. Military, police. They dry fire drills as part of their military, as part of their training. I like it, folks. It helps me work on my sight alignment, my sight picture, my grip, all of it, my finger pressure on the trigger. All of this stuff matters. iTarget Pro will save you a ton of money on ammo and range fees. Listen, the range is important, no doubt, but you can't go every day. It gets expensive. You got to drive there. This allows you to practice anytime in your own home and efficiently. My dad loves it too. Here's the website. Pick this system up today. Trainwithbongino.com. Go today, save 10%, plus get free shipping on your iTarget Pro system. Don't be fooled by knockoffs. Get the original dry fire training system. They've been with me forever. The website, trainwithbongino.com. Train safe, train smart, train with iTarget. That's trainwithbongino.com. TRAIN, trainwithbongino.com. And our last sponsor today is Genucel. Hey, the Genucel Stark Spot Corrector is back on sale at Genucel.com. Corrector helps reduce the appearance of sunspots, brown spots, discoloration, and even red and flame patches. All could disappear in front of your eyes. During the Genucel Black Friday sale, their jawline treatment is also on sale at Genucel.com. Nothing helps tighten and sculpt the sensitive skin in the jawline and neck area like this amazing jawline formula with Genucel's proprietary technology. It's Paula's favorite skincare. You saw how she looks. Genucel's proudly made in the USA. Plus, new customers will save an additional 50% off the website sale prices automatically at checkout. These are the best prices on Genucel Luxury in their 25-year history, ladies and gentlemen. So go ahead, indulge in the best skincare and the best value in skincare. Go to Genucel.com now. Order their complete skincare package. It includes their classic bags and puffiness treatment and immediate effects, all at huge discounts, and plus an additional 50% off your first order at checkout. You'll be amazed or your money back, no questions asked. It's simple. Go to Genucel.com/Dan today and start looking years, even decades younger tomorrow. As a special gift, every package order includes a limited edition beauty box with 2 skincare essentials. Absolutely free with your order right now. GENUCEL. Genucel.com/Dan. Genucel.com/Dan. Thanks, Genucel. Okay, I want to show you this clip. Let's refocus on what I was talking about here. I appreciate your patience. The left lies to their audience. We don't. Therefore, we win and they're losing. Very simple. However, the penalty for the left is real. Their people, folks, are always surprised when the truth comes out, even about the 2020 election. Here's what I mean. I'm going to play this Stephanie Ruhle clip. Sums up again precisely why censorship creates a constant state of confusion on the left. The left, listen to me, however crazy you think this sounds. Evita, you were in college when this was going down. Am I crazy? There are leftists who actually believe masks work on your college campus, correct? They believed it, right? Oh, yeah. Evita fought this harder than anyone on college campuses. There are leftists, I swear to you, who believe putting a diaper on your face worked. I know you're laughing. Why? Because they don't listen to the Dan Bongino show where we were banned on YouTube for telling people you're wasting your time. So they were stunned when studies came out later like, that shit don't work. But they're also now shocked about the 2020 election. Listen to Stephanie Ruhle, who, again, their first response is to censor us so their own people don't see the truth, totally ignoring the penalty. Watch this.
We have now let misinformation become the accepted information. It has washed over us. Elon Musk, he buys Twitter, and then he uses it almost exclusively to be a propaganda machine, and we've accepted it. We've accepted a narrative that despite an actually great economic recovery, the vibes don't feel good. So we want to reject it and get something else. And the person we are now betting on to change all of it is Donald Trump, a man who did 2 almost impossible things. He won the American presidency twice, and he drove a casino into the ground.
They just can't tell their audience the truth. They just can't do it. They are incapable of it, so they have to push for the censorship. I want you to watch this clip here. That now you're going to see them say, hey, man, that 2020 election, which people like me, Evita, and we were like, gosh, these numbers, I'm sorry, they just don't make sense. How did Joe Biden get 81 million votes? No one denied the election. The election happened. I'm not an election denier. But as an American citizen, I'm free to ask questions. Unfortunately, I was forced to accept Biden as the president. We did. Was there a revolt? The answer is there was no insurrection. Cut the bullshit, Chewbacca guy. Give me a break. But we were free to say this doesn't sound right. The left is now totally stunned. that 14 million votes from 2020 seem to have disappeared. Totally shocked by this. Not you. You've been asking this question for 4 years. Watch this.
Kamala Harris received about 14 million fewer votes than Joe Biden did 4 years ago. That is a staggering number. And they have a lot of figuring out to do. And that process begins right now.
That just kind of ended funny. Did I cut that like that? Is that a Dan Bongino special? Sometimes Guy's like, you have the weirdest cut. Sometimes I cut in the middle of the sentence. The guy's stunned. Where is the 14 million? Where did they go? Never considers the possibility at all, folks, that a large chunk of those votes were never there. What do you mean they were never there? You did a mass mail-in ballot election during a COVID crisis when the New York Times themselves acknowledged in their own writing just 10 years ago that rejection and fraud were rife with mail-in ballot elections. The New York Times wrote that. If you're going to call me a conspiracy theorist, then can you at least acknowledge that you played a role in it as well, exposing the problems with mail-in balloting? They are always, I'm giving you both sides, correct? I told you a mass mail-in ballot election in 2020 was going to be a problem. Here's the New York Times saying it. You notice they never do the same? No one at all after the 2020 election was playing conservatives like me and Avita on their channel going, hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't dismiss these guys. It does seem a little anomalous that Joe Biden got 81 million votes. No one. That's why we always come up and surprise them, folks. They are stunned by this. I want to show you two maps. They cannot figure this out. We told them immigration was a problem. They didn't listen. They were listening to the Dan Bongino show and reading my chat. You could have told them. How many people in the chat help the left out right now? Was immigration the number one or number two issue? Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. Chat, burn that thing up right now. Lefties, this is the greatest focus group ever. There are now 181,000 people. This is definitely the biggest live stream in the world right now. What? You have 181,000 people. This is the biggest poll you're ever going to take. How many people think immigration was a big issue? Help the left out right now. Yeah. Let me stop at Joyce. Yes. Thank you. The left is stunned. Put up the map in 2020 of Texas. Here's the 2020 map for Donald Trump. You notice the border counties? They're largely blue. Here's 2024. Oh, look, those border counties turned mostly red. They're stunned by this. How is it that Hispanic voters on the border are not voting for us in our open borders policies? Because they're not freaking robots, dude. They are Americans. They bust their ass. And no, lefties, they're not cleaning your toilets and cutting your lawn. Stop talking about Hispanic voters like they're your damn servants. They're not. They're fucking engineers. They're pilots. They're cops. They're border patrol. They serve in our military. The guy who cut my elbow open and fixed my arm was a Spanish guy. He's not cleaning my fucking toilet bowl, assholes. My wife is Colombian. She's a very talented internet and database developer. She's not cleaning the damn toilet. Maybe if you stop talking to people, sorry about the language, but like fucking assholes, maybe they would vote for you. You want a focus group, dipsticks? You're getting it now. Hispanic voters are not cleaning our toilet bowls, okay? They don't want to be talked to like morons. Here's another one that surprised them. Here's California, hat tip Joel Pollack. There's 2020. California, to me, at least landmass-wise, looks mostly red now. Granted, not the population centers. I understand that. I'm not naive. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a huge change. Maybe if you stop talking to people again, like they're your bathroom cleaners, maybe they would start treating you a little better at the polling locations too. Folks, I'm sorry, man. You keep calling us. We're not the racists. You are. You think it's an accident the only groups Kamala Harris did better with were highly super educated white people and non-religious folks. Everywhere else she got crushed. Talking to black voters like yeah, you know, you black voters, weed, man. What do you think? What do you think? Every black voter out there is like, that's all they care about is weed? Maybe stop talking to people like they're freaking criminals and drug users. You Hispanic voters, who's going to clean your toilets? What? Clean your toilets? I'll tell you who fixed my elbow. Yeah, a Spanish guy. He didn't want to be talked to like he cleans fucking toilet bowls for a living. Black voters don't want to be talked to like they're all criminals. We got weed, man. We got weed, bro. Maybe go into the barber shop like Trump did. Because you know what? Black business owners own barber shops. They don't own weed stores. You got black cops, black pilots, black officers in our military. You got one of them running our military now. You think they want to be talked to like they're your servants? It's like, oh man, Guy, I wish I had that. Guy just nailed it. And yes, there's a black man in charge of our military right now. And you know what Biden calls him? That guy running him. He doesn't even know his name. The black guy, right? He doesn't even know his name. Folks, I want to make a heartfelt appeal to black voters and Hispanic voters who open their eyes to the GOP for the first time. Listen, man, I'm speaking for the party. And tell me in the chat, you know you agree with me. This is your home. You are welcome here. We are never going to judge you by where you're from, what your skin color is, what God you worship. We're going to judge you by one thing. How much you love liberty and freedom, man. That is it. And if you doubt me, I'm begging you. On bended knee, I will humble myself right now. Please, you show up at a Trump rally and you watch how you're welcomed with open arms. You will never be celebrated more. We want you. We are asking you for your vote. The other side talks to you like you clean their freaking toilet bowls. That's bullshit. And it's why they are always surprised. Sorry, man, but if you've listened to my podcast from the beginning, and I got some emails from people yesterday who have, people who've been there, you know, our failures in the black and Hispanic community have driven me crazy. I don't know what else we need to do. And finally, Donald Trump's greatest gift to the Republican Party is going to be to open the eyes of a bunch of people who we are ready to welcome with open arms. God bless you, man. It is good to see you. You're home now. Folks, this may be the greatest compliment of all from a left-wing media person. Really? You're never going to believe who it's from. The Republican Party, the MAGA movement, the libertarians, we're never surprised. We understand the left because we study them, because we see them as people with bad ideas. They see us as bad people with ideas, so they don't even pay attention to what our ideas are. Do you get the difference? We don't do that. We understand them and they don't understand us. It's why we won the TikTok game. It's why we won the social media game. It's why we won the meme wars. People like the Dilly meme team and these other just savaging them. And you know why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are stone cold killers. Oh my gosh, are you calling for violence? No, not at all. Not even my words. I'm repeating the words of Brian Williams at NBC. Yeah, verbatim. Listen yourself.
Always have a full autopsy, Brian. Yeah. Whenever you figure out if you lose it, what did we do wrong?
That's a brawl.
How do we fix this?
The only thing we knew for certain heading into tonight was the party on the losing end would have to strip down, do an autopsy, do an assessment, look at their bench, look at what they did wrong. I've always said something culturally which is simplistic, flip, and half comical but half serious. And that is constitutionally, culturally, Democrats tend to be former student council presidents, earnest recycling enthusiasts. Republicans in the modern era in politics have been stone cold killers. Yeah. And that's just it.
He's right. Greatest compliment of all. He's right. That was Amazon. I'm associated with NBC, but he did Amazon coverage that night. Who would have thunk it? Brian Williams, of all people, a career spent in misinformation, telling people a bunch of bullshit about what he did. Who would have thunk it that he's can't even do math, by the way. If you know the Bloomberg thing, you know what the Mara Gay Bloomberg thing, you know what I'm talking about. Who would have thunk it? Brian Williams is the first guy to wake up and go, gosh, these guys aren't fucking around anymore. Nah, man, we're not. I want you to listen to their surprise here, too. I want you to listen to surprise on The View. Again, you want to see why the left, if this continues, we will consistently, over the long run, outrun them and recruit greater portions of Hispanic, black voters, female voters into our movement because we're in the right and we understand the truth and they don't. Sunny Hostin has absolutely humiliated herself on The View. Sunny Hostin, I say this candidly, putting my emotions aside, may have cost Kamala Harris probably 1 million votes. Her question to Kamala Harris on The View, would you do anything different from Biden, where she said, no, I can't think of anything, probably cost her 1 million votes, maybe more. I can't prove that. I can't prove a counterfactual. What would have happened if she didn't say it? I don't know. It was devastating. It was used in every Trump ad. Sunny Hostin, how she's still employed by The View, I'm not recommending they fire her. I don't really give a shit. I don't watch the show. I'm just saying, probably cost Kamala Harris the election. This woman has been devastating to her, and she knows it. She still cannot reckon with why this thing went wrong. I want you to listen to this clip, and you're going to see. Watch what she says about uneducated white women in one of the most condescending, disgusting moments. This is what they think of you. Toilet bowl cleaners, weed smokers, felons. This is what you are to them. And now she throws in the pile uneducated white women. Keep in mind, she's talking about uneducated, not that you're a parent. She's uneducated in that you may not have her college degree, so you're a moron. Watch this.
So why do you think that uneducated white women voted against their reproductive health freedoms, and why do you think Latino men voted in favor of someone that's going to says he's going to deport the majority of his community?
White women like being called uneducated white women. I think the economy matters, national security matters. But when you put people in these boxes, I think that's a takeaway from this race.
We have to look at the demographics of it.
It is so important you understand the takeaway from this. It is they cannot accept the fact that treating people like a spreadsheet tool and toilet bowl cleaners is never going to build long-term political loyalty to your brand. And when you've got a bunch of stone cold killers, to use Brian Williams, who are recruiting people into the movement every single day, the Presslers, the meme folks out there, all the people out there trying desperately to recruit into the Republican Party, you have no long-term solution to this. Here's Scarborough again. They're not only stunned by what I showed you before, the Texas border map, the California map, these liberal states. They're stunned about what happened in New York. Trump sliced his deficit in half. New Jersey, Trump almost won. Almost came within striking distance in New Jersey. They're stunned at Illinois. They can't believe it. They're not ready to accept that they're the problem. Folks, I'm telling you right now, the Scott Pressler model in Pennsylvania of going to gun shows and registering voters. Listen to me now, please. This is an important tactical point. If they continue this confusion, we have an opportunity in 2 years to sneak up on them again. If we can transplant the Pressler model to New York and New Jersey, there's a governor's election coming up in New Jersey. Listen to me. We can turn that state red. It's going to take time, but I'm telling you it can be done because they just aren't ready to do the work Pressler and you out there, the activists, have done to turn Pennsylvania and other states like Nevada red. Look, they're still confused. Listen to Scarborough.
This wasn't just a loss in those states. Mm-hmm. Democrats only won in Illinois by 4 points, only won in New Jersey by 5 points. Bleeding support in New York. You can go around the country. It's bad, not just for Kamala Harris.
They don't get it. They don't understand because they don't want to. Even attempts to try to understand where you think they're ready to engage in a reckoning, like this clip. I know I have a lot of clips, but I want you to leave for the week so happy that not only we snuck up on them, but they still We've snuck up on them. We're sitting there in front of their faces like ninjas, and they still don't understand what's going on. Here's Claire McCaskill, a hapless former Democrat senator from Missouri who got smoked by Josh Hawley. Air Claire McCaskill. Look it up. It's kind of hilarious. This is my favorite clip of the show, too. She starts out great. She's like, man, we just can't read the American people. And you're like, wow, bad news. The Democrats are going to finally get it. And then quickly watch her pivot right away to, because Donald Trump's like the worst and all his people suck, too. Watch this. Check this out.
Well, first, I think we have to acknowledge that Donald Trump knows our country better than we do. I think he figured out that anger and, frankly, fear were way more powerful than appealing to people's better angels. That anger and fear were going to work in this election, whether you're afraid of immigrants or afraid of people who are trans. He figured that out.
I can't. You get the point. Detsky's favorite clip. I think it was mine, too. Yeah, just when you think they got it, Donald Trump seems to have his finger on the pulse of America, and he got it. Maybe we should pay attention to that pulse reading. She's like, yeah, because you're all a bunch of racist, misogynist, fascist, Nazi, animal slob, toilet bowl cleaners. They can't do it, bro. Even Guy's like, he never lay. He didn't even answer a question. They can't do it. They can't do it. Hey, tell your friends to tune in now. It's the most important part of the show. Seriously, I'm going to give you a second. Go grab. We're at 188,000. It's not even about the numbers. This is important. Go grab your friends. Everybody tune in right now. Okay, you ready? Folks, we got an important mission ahead. Monday, we got to get to personnel. Donald Trump has to put together a team now to take back America. Folks, I am in this, I promise you, for one thing. I put out a tweet last night about my friends in the business and how this business is full of people who are phonies and fakes. And they are. And a lot of people over the last few days have shown me their true colors. If you got a text from me about something and you didn't respond, I just want you to know, like, delete my number. Because we did a lot for people. And I'm kind of pissed off at some people out there. We have work to do now. And I have one person's interests in mind. That is supporting Donald Trump. I like other people, but my loyalty is to President Trump. In the chat, I know that's you too. And he needs to surround himself with a solid, strong team of people. So I'm not trying to be a dick about this, but there are people who have no business being in this administration at all. And it's our job. We're not here to make friends. You want friends? Get a freaking dog. They'll be great. They'll love you no matter what. That's not me. A lot of so-called friends abandoned me, too, after they got what they wanted. It's fine. We're number one. I don't need you. You need me. Don't ever forget that. You need my army. I don't need shit from you. Mike Pompeo is an absolute no-go in the White House. I'm sorry. Mike Pompeo has turned at every opportunity on Donald Trump. I'm hearing from sources Mike Pompeo was responsible for the appointment of Gina Haspel at the CIA after him, who destroyed the Trump administration and did nothing about the Hunter laptop letter. Mike Pompeo is an absolute no-go. Our friends, Cat Turd and others, please, I'm asking you, no Pompeo, hashtag no Pompeo, whatever hashtag you want. Cat Turd's better at this than me. No Pompeo. Donald Trump's team knows who to pick, but we know who not to. And if you doubt me, listen to this clip. Mike Pompeo turning on Donald Trump immediately on the classified documents case, immediately before he even had the facts. You want this guy on the inside? That's a fucking no. Watch this.
Two things I think are both true at this point. First, if the allegations are true, and there's lots of indications that they are, President Trump had classified documents where he shouldn't have had them. And then when given the opportunity to return them, he chose not to do that for whatever reason. That's just, Brian, you talked about me having classified documents. I handled thousands and thousands of them over my time in Congress and then as a CIA director and Secretary of State. I suppose we can all make mistakes and get them to the wrong place, but when somebody identifies that, you got to turn them in. And so that's inconsistent with protecting America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. And if the allegations are true, some of these were pretty serious, important documents. And so that's wrong.
Absolutely no Mike Pompeo. Folks, we gave the Republican Party a mandate from the presidency to the Senate to the House to state houses. We did it. We did this. You guys did it. You're the ones who went out and filled in little circles in the voting booth and brought 10 people with you. The Bongino Army did it. The Levin Army did it. The Hannity Army, Glenn Beck, all of them, Charlie Kirk.